the committee of the whole meeting to order.
Reschedule the count.
Today is Monday, the 2nd of May, 2005, right at 5:40 p.m. Councilman Lawson is present. Councilman Hodge, Vice Mayor Bell, welcome back from South Africa, and Councilman Porter. Approval of the Committee of the Whole, Finance, Park, and Recreation Committee meeting minutes of April 12, 2005. Is there motion for approval?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hodge. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 2 is the City Hall Architectural Programming Services. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor and Council, it's staff's recommendation that the Council retain Rodriguez and Quiroga,
Those guys.
architects, close enough, I gotta work that a little bit. Architects charged to provide programming services for the new City Hall. Their proposal is in keeping with our RFQ of 2403. They're one of our groups that we have pre-selected. Basically, the programming phase, which we're suggesting here, gives us an opportunity on the new City Hall they will come in, they will sit with everyone so that we can determine size of facility that we need, the interrelationships of activities within the City Hall. For example, is it going to be multi-story, single-story, those kinds of things. And if it is, who goes on the first floor or second floor, through a study of the work needs of that particular section. And other detail requirements for the project. For example, we're going to want some technology advice in, for example, cameras in the chamber. Some technology issues that'll come up that we'll put all of this together and in a package, in a programming document that then we'll proceed to negotiate fees and design and construction from that point. But this would be a good takeoff into explaining to a contractor putting together the construction documents of what we're looking for and what we've got a coordinated effort there. It'll be about 6 weeks duration for that.
Any comments? Is there a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'll just say one thing I meant to say. The account number on here is not the account number we'll use. We'll have another account number. So I just want to draw your attention to that. Same amount of money, $42,000, but we have the wrong account number, and Finance is setting up account number separate for this pre-construction activities for the new City Hall site.
There's a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Lawson, second by Mr. Porter. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item on the Finance Committee items, purchase of a computer equipment and resolution.
Mr. Mayor and Council, it is staff's recommendation that we move forward with Phase 2 of 3 phases that we have for upgrading our computer system. 44 new computers, Dell. They're off the state contract. They'll replace systems that were purchased in 1999, and the amount is $50,446.88.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by the Vice Mayor, second by Mr. Porter. Questions? What do we do with the old ones?
Well, disposition of the old ones, either we can go to auction. Last time we had it out for organizations, but we didn't get a real big response on that. But we're prepared to do what you would like to do to approach. These are pretty old machines.
Mr. Mayor, weren't some of the last ones donated to the hurricane areas as well? I mean, some of that first round?
Right.
That's what I thought.
Because as old as ours were, they were a godsend to some of those small communities in South Central Florida.
Let me suggest that you look at Kamitra and her organization and see if we could probably distribute some of them to just families in need in the community. I think that'd be,
Well, we can package them and
Yeah.
to do that.
They're all, Mayor, they're almost worthless.
You want to make
good. Are they?
They're pretty old. They don't run the new software, but
Oh, okay.
Brian might have something.
We're gonna bring those to you in front of a resolution. Richard, you might want to back it up on basically for disposal. Typically, we put it out for nonprofits, and I think the city manager can deem what the disposal. Richard, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. We voted on that, didn't we? Item 2 is the GASB 34 Condition Assessment Study.
Yes, Mayor, it's staff's recommendation that we enter into an agreement with Metric Engineering to conduct a condition assessment study in order to meet our reporting requirements under GASB 34. Basically, what this condition assessment study is that it looks at our roads, bridges, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, catch basins, and inlets, all of this infrastructure that we have, prices it, puts a condition on it, prices what the value of that infrastructure is, and it's a requirement in our reporting under the new GASB 34. So it's something that we need to do, and we'll, by 05, close of this budget year 05, we're required to start reporting that.
With a question.
Moved by Mr. Porter, a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor.
Mr. Manager, we've been looking at a traffic or an infrastructure master plan. There's been this master plan that's been out there for a very, very long time. Now, there's a lot of similarities in just at a first glance. I know there's more to this plan than what is a master plan, because I know it deals with the future. But when are we going to see something from the infrastructure master plan or the roads master plan?
On the transportation master plan.
I guess
Julio can update you on that, Mr. Porter.
What we're talking about here, this will actually complement what we're doing with the master plan. We made sure when finance was putting this together, I was part of the meetings to make sure that whatever this contract was going to do was not duplicating something that was being done by the master plan. This will actually work in combination with the master plan, and at the same time, while our consultants for the master plan are doing the data collection and the gathering of all the capacity information that they need for their master plan, because they're looking more at it from a capacity. This is looking at it from a cost value. So we didn't want to use the funds from the half-penny sales tax to look at how much a catch basin is worth, how much a street sign is worth. They're focusing more on the capacity issues. So when this is done, this will actually be used as an inventory that the master plan consultants are going to put into their database as well, and be able to assign a capacity to it more than anything.
When will we see something on the master plan, the traffic master plan? Because I know we've talked about that for a very, very long time.
Yeah, right now there's 2 tasks that have been assigned to the consultants for it. Of course, there's the ongoing traffic analysis that they're doing for all the developers. That's a separate task that they're doing. And they've been assigned the data collection and the visioning session to see where the city wants to go in the future in this. And what they will do is implement those needs into their long-range goals that they want to meet with this master plan. We're looking at those tasks. When they came to council, they were, I believe it was a 60-day period, which we have 30 days left on that. And after that, they'll probably take another 4 to 5 months to finish out the actual programming for the master plan itself, for the actual capacity analysis of it.
Seems like it's been longer than that.
Well, there was a traffic study for the southwest section master plan that had come out, the alternate. Maybe that's what.
No, I guess the point is there's a lot of studies going on, and it'd be nice to get to a point where we could try to implement some of the studies And this is another study that I know this needs to be done, but at the same time, we do have infrastructure issues that part of the problem is just deciding whose road is whose. I mean, that was part of what we were trying to decide through the master plan, is to find, okay, this is the city of Homestead's responsibility and this is the county. You got to turn it off first and then move it. That's the only way to do it. But you see, what I'm getting at is we're doing a lot of waiting on these master plans, and we can identify some of the projects as we've already sat around and done. But it'd be nice to see this plan come out of the consultant fairly soon.
Mr. Porter, actually, you hit it on the head. Part of the discussion we had a long time ago was to decide who owns what. And I think what Elena is proposing to do is going to be doing the inventory for the city-owned properties, the right-of-ways.
It'd be nice to know, because when we sit around and we know that we've got a problem, it's nice to know who to go to see if we can get the problem addressed. And that's been unclear in a lot of instances. Thank you, Mayor.
Elena, on this asset management system, is the future with this GASB to require us at some point to budget for deferred maintenance?
I don't foresee that at this time. This is actually the last piece of the GASB 34 because we have implemented it in stages as they have prescribed. They may come up with a new GASB that will do something of that nature, but not as part of GASB 34. This is the very last piece of it.
Because I foresee, once we get the report back, to say that we got $3 million in deferred maintenance throughout the city, and we'll be required to, or it could be used against the bottom line in terms of the city's
I guess that may come in as far as when they do the financial audit, if they get into looking at they review the report and they see the age, and they might require, although we do set monies aside through RR&I for those types of expenditures that will come up in the future. So in a way, we have that provision in place. It may or may not cover the full amount needed, but we do set aside every budget year for the RR&I.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Howard?
Yes. I just wanted to ask, is this part of collecting the database for the GIS database system?
All the information collected in this contract will be inputted into the GIS, yes.
Okay.
And that was one of the conversations we had with the consultant to make sure that the format that they use matched what the city is using now.
Okay. And that will help reduce some of the cost of some of these studies in the future, because we will already have an extensive database of the equipment and the assets that the city owns.
That's exactly right, yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Woman is not here. Park and Rec items, professional services agreement with B&A International Inc. for Harrisfield Pavilion restroom design.
Mr. Mayor and Council, staff recommends that City Council authorize me to enter into an agreement with B&A International Incorporation for the purpose of development of design construction documents, building, permitting, and construction administration. Again, as you had mentioned in the title, for the construction of new bathrooms at Harris Field. We've all been over there, we've all been to functions, we've all heard the complaints. They're inadequate, they've been around a long time, they're old.
I'll move it.
Not only that, you're going to use the bathroom by the time you get there, so if they can put them a little closer.
Moved by the Vice Mayor, second by Councilman Hodge.
That's right.
Question, Mr. Porter?
I see here you're asking whether or not this task, you have a 75-60 number for administration, 7,000.
What we're talking about there, once we get into this project, to see whether or not with local staff we can do the construction administration of that, rather than have the consultant do it, and we're leaning toward having, we feel that we can handle the construction administration, and if that's the case, we'll pull out 7560 out of that bid.
Well, let me just say that I know that I spoke with you and we've talked about, as we go into the future and as we gain more and more projects like the City Hall project, if we can get the interlocal with the county and do some of or take over most of the projects on 328 and some of the road improvement projects that we hope to be able to get, it would be nice for us as council to know I'd like for you to bring something back, but let's talk about a project administrator position as we go forward, because if just taking the road projects that hopefully we could get a hold of, we could have 10 years of projects that if you leave it up to the construction company to administer the project, you might not get as good a bang for your buck if we put our own person in that slot and made sure that all the projects were coordinated through the city's expectations instead of the construction group's expectations. So as we go forward, can we bring that back to another committee meeting and just see the pros and the cons from your expectations or analysis or values that would be involved, cost of carrying that?
Okay.
Because if we can recover a lot of the costs through the work that's being done, in this case, there was administration dollar value attached. Most of the other projects that we'll see will have the same. Might be able to be a net zero cost to the city, but still have complete control of projects.
Understand.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Did we reduce it by about $1,100 on the memo from Larry Levins? The last paragraph on the first, he said 44,760. That's just, but the actual bid is 43,600.
I don't know.
Because he was asking for 44,760.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kirk, on the back. Explain that difference, if you would.
Yeah, actually, in Mayor and Council, in that cover letter, he did state the 43,760, but when we calculated according to the table on the back, it did come to 43,600.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Proposed Northwest Regional Park Land Acquisition Grant Application and Matching Funds Authorization.
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is a request that staff recommends that I be authorized to execute a grant application with the state of Florida in the Florida Communities Trust, Florida Forever, for funding to purchase park land. The grant has up to $6 million that you can obtain through this grant. We've hired for the Parks and Rec, we do have a grant writer that will be doing or submitting the grant. We are looking at the northwest section, again in keeping with our Parks Master Plan, to locate land there. We have some located that we would like to purchase as park land for the future Northwest kind of regional park. This is again a grant. Depending on the grant, we have a 25% match on that, which will come out of the 05-06 residential impact fees for the match.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Of course, I have no problem applying for a grant, but my question would be, in looking at the Parks Master Plan, which was quite extensive, while we don't have a large park on the northwest side, we have many parks on the northwest side. We have many parks on the west side. We have nothing on the east side. Are we going to take action, get some grants, and look for funding to develop? We have land on the east side, but we don't. I mean, we have land, but we have our sports complex, and I think council has stated quite vehemently that they don't want to sell it. Why are we not looking for grants to maybe develop that as into exactly what the Parks Master Plan stated? I think we're still missing the boat on this.
Well, we do have Humpty Dumpty, which is 34 acres of parkland, which we're working on right now, and we will begin developing that part that's doesn't have to be cleaned up shortly using funds from the...
Forgive me for laughing, but I've been hearing about Humpty Dumpty for about 15 years.
Epic,
right.
Yes. Hopefully we're waging that right down to the right down to the start point here. We think we're close. We've been back and forth with the county. We've had to intervene a couple of times. We think we're there, and hopefully. So we'll have that 34 acres for the east.
I'll move the recommendation, but I would, of course, it would have to be conditional upon receiving of the grant.
Sure.
But I think we need to seriously think about what we're going to do on the east side. A large parcel, and that's what we have on the east side. And I think, I don't know what we're waiting for. We paid almost $100,000 for that plan, and one of the huge recommendations was that there was nothing on the east side. There's a tremendous amount on the west side.
I think you hit it also. You're correct that even though that hasn't been, that's flip-flop back and forth a little bit, that the baseball stadium is still serving that area and may continue to serve that area.
Right.
At the end of the day as a regional. And we do have the 34 acres, so we jump to the northwest. If it turns out that something else is going to be done with the stadium, then we'll probably have to jump out to outside the urban development boundary east, trying to find land. And the closest land out there is Alger property, and the last we asked, they didn't want to sell it for parkland right now. They may change their mind later, but at that point they didn't want to sell. I'm trying to get 50 acres out there.
Let's not forget what we already own.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I'll second it, and I hope that we can do everything we can to save that historical structure. I know that coral building's been there for a very long time, and I'd like to see something done with it, if possible.
It's a good point that you brought up. Absolutely, and there's also money
we can get money for that
as well. And they could certainly serve as
community center,
something of that nature.
Very unique.
Well, I appreciate the initiative. I think anytime there's a grant for $5 million plus that we could pursue to help acquire, enhance, improve what we have in the city, I think it'd be fantastic. So we got some fantastic grant writers, and I know Nancy, Phillip, or whomever's involved, we got good chances. So.
Can I ask
Good.
one question?
Mr. Porter?
I'm sorry, maybe you answered it. Now, this is contingent. You don't go into the purchase unless you get the grant.
That's correct.
Okay. I thought that's what I read, but I wanted to... Thank you.
Good initiative. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And last is the public safety, and let me announce that Councilwoman Wallman is here.
I'm sorry, I was working.
Public safety items, Mr. Porter?
It's going to be tough, Mayor.
I see.
We've only got one item before us tonight, and it's an ongoing item that we deal with periodically, where it's closure for Main Street for any activities that they do on Chrome. And I know we're all very supportive of what Main Street is doing, so I'll entertain a motion if there is one. There isn't one.
Second.
Moved and second. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Mr. Lawson, any business?
Just one quick item of housekeeping to the clerk. On the second Parks and Rec item, I need the minutes to affirmatively show that I didn't take part. One of the parcels that's been identified as a potential acquisition is owned by a longstanding client of mine. So I walked out, and we need the minutes to reflect that I did not take part and did not vote on that issue.
Anything else, Mr. Lawson?
Thank you. No.
Thank you. Mr. Hodge?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor?
No, thank you.
Mr. Porter?
Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Garner?
One thing, Mayor. I got an email from the lifeguards at Bayfront, and it was in regards to an ATV. They were hoping that Homestead Police could donate to them.
We did.
Didn't we do that in our last surplus items?
No, we took it off of the agenda item. We were looking for some further information on donating that to Dade County, and we want to get a little more information on that. We have the vehicle available. It is surplus. It can be donated. We need to make sure there's no issue with donating it to Dade County. But
well, if there's no issue, I'd like to see them have it. I mean, that they would put it to use, and they would really appreciate it.
May I ask you a question? Is that the same I thought I received an email from Biscayne National Park. Did anybody receive that?
Right over here, Bayfront.
Not Bayfront.
Same, that's it.
No, not Bayfront Park. It was, my email was somebody from Biscayne National.
I got a PowerPoint from Bayfront, and then I was running back and forth with the lifeguards.
Right, I think it's the same group over there, both
You think it's the same, because
areas.
this was a
I think so,
person,
yes.
an individual,
That's
not a...
because we only had one request over there for the ATV.
I have a question.
Mr. President?
That's a county park. Can they not get an ATV from the county?
Well, that's what we pulled.
I mean, we're
So
asking
we can answer that
we're asking for a
question,
city, I would like an answer to that before we act on that. We're asking to give a city ATV to a county park when, we won't say the opposite, that doesn't occur. Let's just, I mean, don't you think that's a fair question?
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
if we had it surplus and we usually give our items to nonprofit or someone who could use it, I just know they could use it. If we didn't have anything else we were going to do with it, I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, I think it would be appropriate to look into that first, and then, because it is city property, paid by city taxpayer dollars, being donated to a county entity. So I think, I'm not saying that I don't agree with it, I'm saying maybe we should take a look at that.
I think that, we inquired on that from public safety side of the house, who has the ATV. They didn't get it, they get knocked out of the budget, or didn't get budgeted, and they still need the item, but the county didn't budget them for it, so that's kind of about what we're going to find out, I think, when we talk to them.
How does public safety feel about that?
I think everyone's okay with it. We just pulled it because of just the issue you brought up to get some more information on. We just hadn't brought it back yet. Probably should have been back tonight, but I'd forgotten about it in the interim. But it is an issue that exactly, when you asked that question, we wanted to kind of know something about it, a little more detail.
I just wondered, because I knew we had read that.
Yeah.
I forgot it was pulled.
We'll take a look at it, and then probably the next committee of the whole, you could bring an update back.
Do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Wallman, any business? Mr. Manager, any non-agenda items?
None, sir.
Well, let's all congratulate Mr. Weiss. It's his birthday on yesterday, so...
Oh, happy birthday.
So he's now 35, right?
It's also David's birthday today.
David?
He also
Gee.
wrote his birthday Saturday.
And my daughter's
Susan
this
got
week.
married on Saturday.
Oh, she
Oh,
did?
fantastic.
Wow.
Good.
My daughter's this week in May as well, the 5th.
Lots happening in Licensor Road, huh? Good. You get a raise on your birthday in the firm?
Joe Strota gave me a little raise.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a month birthday for attorneys, that's scary.
If there's no other business before the committee of the whole, the meeting is adjourned.